Hey guys, decorate with me. This size 7 4-layered red velvet and chocolate cake covered and filled with whipped cream frosting. So here I'm crumb coating my cake layers. The essence of crumb coating is to lock in those cake crumbs. If you look closely, you'd see that there are little bits and pieces of cake crumbs that are stuck in the white frosting. Okay, this is to make sure that our final coat of frosting comes out looking seamless and beautiful. So I always manage my frosting when I'm crumb coating because I don't want it to waste. Once you get all those crumbs in there, you can't necessarily reuse the frosting unless you're using it to crumb coat another cake, right? So I try as much as possible to minimize my use of frosting for my crumb coat. Now I'm going in with my final coat. I have a video on my YouTube channel um where I shared my whipped cream recipe. In case you do not know, this is actually powdered whipped cream frosting. I made this whipped cream frosting out of the powdered form of whipped cream that is popularly sold here in Nigeria where I am. But wherever you may find yourself in the world, I believe that convenience stores and cake tool stores would sell powdered whipped cream. You can give it a try. It's much more affordable and it's actually really good. It tastes really good, especially if you make yours with milk and not water. It literally tastes like ice cream. It tastes really good, guys. So you can check out my channel, the video where I made a whipped cream frosting recipe, and you'll be able to get that. Now I am adding my final coat of whipped cream frosting to this cake. I would also like to mention that my cakes are very, very frozen. They are really chilled, right? That's why it looks very sturdy and very firm. Trust me, my cakes are always very moist. But whenever I'm working with whipped cream, I always make sure I chill my cakes, which makes them a bit solid, a bit firm, so that it can withhold the whipped cream frosting for longer. And also, the cake will not be, sliding left, right, and center while decorating. Everything just sits still, right? That is what you should do if you're trying to make a whipped cream cake. So whenever you're making any kind of cream cake, whether buttercream, whipped cream, Swiss meringue, once you are decorating, make sure that you always go in with your frosting to fill in those air pockets like I'm doing here. And then you go back with your cake smoother or bench scraper or cake comb, whatever it is you're using to smoothen the sides of your cake. Make sure you go back with that. Now, this particular cake smoother that I have is not tall enough, right? This is not a cake smoother. This is the bench scraper. Yeah, but it's not tall enough for the height of the cake I was working on. So if you observe this video, you would see that I would like be slowly moving the cake comb upward, right? The bench scraper, I'll be slowly moving it upward so that it can smoothen every angle of the cake. I don't know if that explanation makes any sense, but if you're watching, you would observe that here I'm raising it up, lifting it higher. Anyway, once I'm done smoothing the sides of the cake, I'm then going to smoothen the top of the cake, of course, unless you're going for a cake design that doesn't require that. But I was going for a cake design that makes it smooth. This part of the video is my absolute favorite. This is so ASMR. This is so satisfying. I'm using my silicone brush to add a bit of texture to my whipped cream, and I'm just doing these nice waves, very therapeutic. Oh, I don't know why I'm so excited, but anyways, it came out perfect, smooth, and seamless, y'all. I only do neat cakes, okay? If you are in Lagos, Nigeria, I am located in Surulere, Lagos, Nigeria. Leave a comment down below if you would like to order a cake from me today, or any other day, or any other month. Okay, even for your weddings, your ceremonies, I do all of that. Anyway, back to the video. One of my videos where I made a cake with buttercream painting, I showed how that I used a plastic spoon for this to create this tool, right? Instead of buying a palette knife. So that is what I used. I literally just used the scissors to cut the plastic spoon to give me those sharp edges and this shape. And then I'm using it to just create my beautiful palette painting of like leaves all around the cake. This was a very simple white cake design. Sorry for the background noise. It just started raining heavily here. However, as I was saying, my client wanted a white cake, and so I just added like a touch of gold because he gave me the free will actually for a decor and also to add any other pop of color to the white, but he wanted the cake to be white, right? So gold, and then I added white sprinkles, and then my gold topper. Everything was just going to make the white pop a little bit. And so yeah, this is what we have. Very beautiful, very demure, very elegant, very pretty cake. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.